all of us board members, after we talked about it last month, we received a lot of emails both for and against this decision to be made tonight. And I took a lot of notes when I received a lot of those emails, just because I wanted to take this time tonight to clarify some of my positions, and make sure that the community understands where I'm coming from with a lot of the, I guess you would say, misconceptions about the arguments for and against. But the first argument against the restricted section that I wanted to talk about was, I received emails saying that proposals made to restrict students' access to age-appropriate books would place significant restrictions on access to books containing LGBTQ characters, themes, and stories. And nearly half of all book challenges had LGBTQ characters. When I had brought this to the attention of the board, it was never in the intention of restricting LGBTQ characters. It was with the intention that we are interested in age appropriateness. Books are not being challenged because of LGBTQ characters and stories. They are being challenged because of sexually explicit content. The response would be the same if it were a heterosexual couple doing the same acts in those books. It's the sexually explicit content. The next one was censorship driven by personal ideology is not best interest of students, teachers, parents, or the community. And to me, this is not about censorship. I can't even say that word. Censorship of banning books. This is deciding whether or not these books in question are age appropriate for the minors in which they are available to. And parents ultimately should have the right to restrict their children from these books and know they are not available unless given permission to. To me, an opt-in is logical because it creates, as our librarians were talking about, those conversations at home with your children. If my child came to me and said, I want to be able to go into this restricted section, I can then ask the question, why? And we can have a valuable discussion about the types of books that they want to access in that section. Otherwise, it's like the question that I had brought up to the librarians during their presentation, which is, what if they aren't checking books out and just accessing the materials within the school library? I want that to be able to be a valuable discussion for families at home before they are given access to those types of books, so that everyone is aware of the type of content that those children are reading. Children already see worse things on their cell phones. We've heard that a lot today. To me, that's just a red herring argument. It's a separate issue, and frankly, I think that's a separate issue that we should discuss, the use of cell phones within our schools. But to me, we should be looking as a school system to be the constant of good material, not just going with the flow because they can access it everywhere else. And really it comes down to, I read a lot of age-appropriate or intellectual freedom. And to me, it's not one or the other. It's both. I believe in intellectual freedom with age-appropriate books. Students should be able to absolutely have access and explore a variety of literary works aligned with their interests and maturity levels without being subjected to sexually explicit content. That's what it comes down to for me. That is why I've had a lot of conversations with members of the community about these topics. And it has nothing else to do with any of the other arguments that were brought into play. Those were my stances. Furthermore, with our board members here, we have been made aware that, this isn't just our county facing this issue. This is happening across the state and across the country, and there's already 2 counties that we were made aware of, Cecil County and Carroll County, that have already have this restricted mature section in place. And it seems to be doing well for those counties, speaking with those members of those communities as well. I'm just asking my fellow board members to take that into consideration to create that type of space for our students as well.
Okay. So I understand your motion correctly. Your motion is to adopt the Cecil County school book policy and for both high school and middle school. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor.
Sorry, just for the record, actually the motion was slightly different.
Okay, well, that's why I was clarifying.
Motion.
The motion, I believe, actually was to, for this board to adopt a policy
Similar?
similar to the Cecil County policy and procedure and have the superintendent work with the board attorney to make a similar policy and procedure.
Okay.
I think it was a little bit more broad, just so the record's clear.
Okay. So I have a motion on the floor and a second by Ms. McComas. Motion on the floor and a second by Ms. McComas. All in favor of that motion?
Aye.
Okay. Any opposed?
Nay.
Okay. That motion does not carry. Okay. I have a motion on the floor by Ms. Addis to include in our procedure a taxpayer as a complainant as far as a school book procedure goes. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. I have a second by Mr. Gordy. Okay, and now I'll call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
No.
Okay. Let the record show the vote was 6-1. Okay, and the motion is denied.